Welcome, lovely CFA candidates, to our fantastic YouTube channel. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that's both enlightening and amusing. Get ready to embark on an educational journey as we explore the significance of objectivity and independence. So grab a seat, sip your favorite beverage, and let's get started. First and foremost, let's talk about the importance of maintaining objectivity no matter the situation. Whether we're faced with threats or tempting offers, it's crucial to keep a level head and stay true to our principles. Think of it as having the cool demeanor of a secret agent who never lets anyone influence their decisions. Now, when it comes to exams, they love throwing in some interesting scenarios. Picture this: you're in a sticky situation, caught between a rock and a hard place, with threats coming at you from all directions. But fear not, my friends. We're going to navigate through these situations with finesse and provide you with some eye-opening examples along the way. Let's focus on those enticing offers and take a closer look. As analysts, we might find ourselves in a bit of a pickle when companies shower us with gifts. I mean, who doesn't love a good freebie, right? But hold your horses, my friends, because we need to play it smart. Imagine this: the company sends you a lovely souvenir, like a charming keychain. Now, before we jump to conclusions, we need to determine if this gift holds significant value. According to the guidelines, we must avoid accepting extravagant gifts. However, if it's something small and harmless, we might give it a subtle nod, as long as it doesn't compromise our objectivity. Now, some of you might be thinking, what if the gift is super fancy, but we genuinely believe it won't sway us? Well, my darlings, it's not just about our personal beliefs. We need to put ourselves in the shoes of an impartial observer, looking at the bigger picture. If accepting that extravagant gift raises eyebrows and casts doubt on our independence, then it's best to steer clear, my friends. Now, the guidelines don't explicitly define the monetary threshold for what constitutes an expensive gift. It's up to us to make educated judgments, just like we did with our previous example. In exams, they usually make it clear if the gift is something luxurious. I mean, they're not going to bore you with 2 movie tickets for a kiddie flick, right? And let's not forget about those personalized gifts. You know, the ones where they've done their research and tailored it to your likes and dislikes. Well, my friends, as tempting as it may be, we must resist the allure. It's all about preserving our objectivity, no matter how adorable that gift may be. Additionally, there's another situation to consider. Suppose you're an analyst tasked with writing a research report for a publicly listed company. The company tells you they want you to do a great job and informs you that besides your compensation, there's another potential business opportunity, perhaps in investment banking, that they could offer to your company or boss. In this case, even though the benefit is not directly personal to you but rather benefits your company, accepting this offer would still violate independence and objectivity. Therefore, it is not acceptable. To summarize, from an analyst's perspective, when accepting gifts, the first step is to determine their value. Expensive gifts should absolutely be declined. There is a second scenario where fund managers and similar roles may receive tips or gifts from satisfied clients as a token of appreciation for their past performance. These gifts can be accepted without compromising independence and objectivity because they serve as recognition of your hard work and dedication. However, you must disclose this to your boss and relevant stakeholders beforehand. Disclosing it to your boss is important because the client's reward should first benefit the company and then be communicated to you. Disclosing it to stakeholders is to avoid misunderstandings and mistrust. Additionally, written consent from your boss is required to accept such gifts. Verbal consent is not sufficient. Lastly, I'd like to mention an exceptional case where a client spontaneously thanks you and invites you for a meal. In such a situation, it may be difficult to obtain prior consent from your boss, which can be awkward. The client might say, "Thank you for the great results you've achieved for me recently. Let's go out for a meal tonight." In this case, if you respond with, "Hold on, let me report to my boss," and wait for their written consent before deciding whether I can have dinner with you, it might violate business etiquette. Therefore, our guidelines have a provision for such circumstances. If you are unable to obtain prior consent from your boss, you can attend the meal and later report it to your boss, obtaining written consent. Of course, in this case, the client might only invite you for a light snack, which doesn't require reporting, as it is considered a small gesture. However, if the client invites you for a full-fledged meal, you must remember to follow up and seek permission from your boss afterward. In terms of temptations, we discussed the two scenarios of accepting gifts. Next, let's explore how to maintain independence and objectivity when facing various pressures. Generally, this is quite simple, but it's important to remember that pressure can come from various sources. For example, as an analyst, you may face pressure from the listed company you're researching as they seek to influence your report and investment rating. In such cases, at least from a guideline perspective, you should strive to maintain independence and objectivity. Some might argue that this seems harsh, but remember, in real life, there can be many compromises, except compromising independence and objectivity. If writing a report puts your life in danger, then it's best not to write that report, or you can seek legal assistance promptly. As professionals, we cannot compromise our principles. And that's an important aspect to remember. Are there any other pressure situations? Let's consider a scenario where you're just an employee of a company and the pressure comes from your boss, whose mother-in-law happens to be the chairperson of a listed company. In this scenario, if your boss puts pressure on you to write a stellar report, a simple "I got it" won't cut it because it compromises your objectivity. So, what can you do? Well, you have a couple of options. You can choose not to write the report. Politely inform your boss that you may not be able to complete the task, or mention that you haven't been feeling well lately and suggest assigning someone else to do it. That's one way to handle it. Of course, there's also the option of respectfully declining. But keep in mind that it might affect your job prospects. Personally, I don't think that's the best choice. On the other hand, there's a solution proposed by an association, which involves placing the company on a restricted list. Now, this doesn't mean you stop writing research reports about the company. Instead, you focus on presenting factual information without expressing your personal opinions. You can summarize the company's profitability, business performance, and strategies employed over the past year. These are all publicly available information. By refraining from offering your own analysis, you maintain your independence and objectivity, which aligns with the guidelines. To wrap it up, let's quickly go over the 8 common scenarios we often encounter in exams. Remember, these are just brief examples, but don't worry, we'll delve into each of them in more detail in the upcoming examples, so you'll have a better understanding and appreciation. In the first scenario, a sell-side analyst might face pressure from a buy-side fund manager. The sell-side analyst prepares research reports, while the buy-side fund manager is the one who purchases these reports. For instance, if the fund manager recently bought a large amount of a particular stock, like Mountain View Incorporated, and the sell-side analyst publishes a bearish or sell rating report, the stock price could plummet. In such situations, it's crucial for the sell-side analyst to maintain independence and objectivity. As long as the analyst has solid reasons and evidence, they should publish the relevant research report based on their professional judgment. Moving on to the second scenario, research department personnel may encounter pressure from other departments, such as the investment banking division. To avoid conflicts of interest, setting up firewalls to isolate different departments' influences can be helpful. Firewalls can be physical, like placing research and other departments in separate locations, or they can be institutional arrangements. For example, a manager cannot oversee 2 conflicting departments simultaneously, and the compensation structure for research personnel should not be linked to the performance of the investment banking division. These measures ensure the research department's independence and objectivity. Now, let's take a closer look at the key players. Analysts, first and foremost, must maintain transparency by disclosing any affiliations with the companies they analyze to avoid conflicts of interest. They should not accept any additional bonuses or options tied to the report's outcome to ensure the analysis remains objective and independent. Next up, we have fund companies. As representatives of investors, they must adhere to strict ethical standards. They cannot accept bribes, engage in bribery, or gain unfair business opportunities through payments or other means. Their primary duty is to protect the investor's interests and manage funds in an honest and transparent manner. Rating agencies play a significant role as well. Since their ratings have a substantial impact on the market, it's crucial for rating agencies to provide objective and accurate assessments. They should not succumb to any form of pressure or let their judgments be influenced by their relationships with the companies they rate. This ensures that market participants can rely on the reliability and credibility of the ratings. Lastly, let's talk about investment banking professionals. When promoting their services, they must maintain honesty and transparency. They should cover their own travel expenses and avoid accepting payments from the companies they research, unless there are exceptional circumstances where there are no other options available. For example, if the only available hotel in a particular location is owned by the company being researched, then staying at that hotel might be unavoidable. This ensures that their recommendations and advice are based on objective analysis and judgment. So, there you have it, folks. Pressure situations are common in various roles within the financial industry, but it's essential to navigate them with integrity and independence. Remember, staying true to your professional ethics will not only protect your reputation but also contribute to a more transparent and reliable financial system. That wraps up our discussion for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more informative content. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll dive deeper into these scenarios and provide you with practical tips on how to handle them. Until then, take care and happy investing.